Alrighty. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Fitz TV here, aka G-Lauren33. I want to welcome you guys back here to the Legit Shoot podcast. I'm here tonight with your WWE Extreme Rules 2020, the horror show as it was advertised tonight. This is your official review right here on Fitz TV. And what do I have to say about this show tonight? This show was an actual horror show. It was. I will say this. The matches that we saw tonight were fantastic. Sasha Banks versus Asuka up till the ending. That had match of the year candidate written all over it. It was a tremendous match between what I believe are the two best female wrestlers in the world right now. Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. Fantastic match. The swamp fight, for the most part, I actually enjoyed. Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio. Great match. D-Tables match between the New Day and Nakamura and Cesaro. That was a great match. But the endings for most of these matches tonight made absolutely zero sense. And now we are 4 weeks away from SummerSlam, your second biggest show in of the year. And I don't care that we're in a pandemic. WWE is deciding to put on this show, right? They are deciding to put on a show. They're deciding to put on fresh content every single week. And with the endings that we saw tonight for most of these matches, how do you even book SummerSlam now? How do you book SummerSlam? Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman? How? Where is Braun Strowman? Is he dead? Did he drown in the swamp fight? Is Sasha Banks and Bayley still even written down? Is Sasha versus Bayley still on the table for SummerSlam? And we're hearing all these rumors about WWE Evolution 2. What's their plans for that show? Like, come on. Where does Seth Rollins go after what happened with Rey Mysterio tonight? These are the questions I ask myself. You're going to have your councils that say this was a great show tonight. The matches we saw tonight were great. The endings were absolutely horrific. Horrific. And now I'm sitting here trying to see where does WWE go. And even somebody with the wrestling knowledge that I have no idea where we go from here. No idea. This show tonight, man. And I said it in the preview and the predictions. I said it. I said in the preview predictions, this will be a good show. WWE is terrible when it comes to builds. But when it comes to the actual pay-per-views, they actually give us a decent show. The in-ring action was great tonight. The endings, mixed with the storytelling, made absolutely zero sense. And I have no idea now where we go from here as we enter the road to SummerSlam. We have SummerSlam now in 4 short weeks. And I don't even know how you book SummerSlam. I really don't. And the big thing, and you guys already know because I talk about her more than anything else on this channel, Sasha Banks, the best female wrestler in the world. Where does she go from here? Where does Sasha Banks go from here? Because honestly, I don't know. They've booked themselves into a huge corner now. They've booked themselves into a huge corner. You decide to give Sasha Banks the Raw Women's Championship. And I'm not complaining. I'm not. But the ending with Bayley putting on a referee shirt, making the count. The bell, she had to go over and force the ring bell person to actually ring the bell. They never made, there was never an announcement made that Sasha had won the title. But then they're playing her music. Even Sasha herself was confused about what happened. And yes, I see people on Twitter saying, oh, this is just like the Attitude Era. Okay, yes, I understand, yes. The Attitude Era had all these conflicted moments. When Stone Cold Steve Austin, how he would lose the WWF title because Vince McMahon would screw him. And then the next night, Stone Cold would win his title back. Yes, some of the stuff tonight does remind Sasha Banks to win tonight. Because I want WWE to merge the divisions. Because I want Sasha Banks versus Bayley to happen, and we merge the divisions. But it makes no sense with the ending. You could have brought a second referee down there to make the count, and nobody would be complaining. But you have Bayley take off the referee's shirt, put it on, make the count herself? Is that even legal? Yes, I know people are going to bring up, when Paul Heyman made the fast count, right? Remember when Paul Heyman made the fast count when John Cena faced off against RVD at One Night Stand back in 2005? One of the best WWE Championship matches of all time, if you ask me, because of the crowd. But let's be serious here. Does it really make sense at the end of the day? I don't know. I would not be complaining at all if they had a second referee. But here's the thing. It took like 2 minutes for them to actually ring the bell. There was never an official announcement made. They just started playing her music. And I see Sleeping Angels. I see you in the chat, bro. But I'm a Sasha Banks fan. I want to see her win titles. But if Sasha loses the championship tomorrow night, I'm going to be pretty pissed off. Maybe they did this so there's controversy so people will watch Raw tomorrow night. Because I know tomorrow night we're going to get Sasha Banks versus Asuka probably in a rematch. And we're going to get Randy Orton versus Big Show in that unsanctioned match. But if Sasha loses the title tomorrow night, I'm going to be pissed. Because in the record books, it's going to give Sasha Banks a 24-hour championship reign. And for somebody, Sasha has never successfully defended a single championship on the main roster. And I don't want that for Sasha. She's the best female wrestler in the world. In my opinion, she's the best of all time. If Sasha doesn't lose tomorrow, right? If Sasha defeats Asuka tomorrow, I'm fine with this. But if she loses the title back to Asuka, I'm going to bitch, I'm going to moan, I'm going to complain. Because I'm tired of this. I really am. Yes, I want Sasha versus Bayley at SummerSlam. I pitched the idea that WWE should do Sasha versus Bayley at SummerSlam without breaking them up because they've been the best thing in the women's division. But this ending tonight, man, it makes no sense. Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio. You had Seth Rollins throwing up. That was more disgusting. That was more horrific than seeing them do whatever they did with Rey Mysterio. I don't know if that was CGI. I don't know if they had, Rey Mysterio like hide something, like an object to make it look like he had his eye taken out. But that ending was bad. It really wasn't. Why the hell you have Seth Rollins over here fake puking? Wait, are you serious right now? Really? It makes no sense. And where does Seth Rollins go now? You gonna have him feud with Kevin Owens or Aleister Black? Yes, those would be great matches, but I don't want to see that for SummerSlam. This is why I've been pitching that they go the whole Seth Rollins and Dominic storyline. Hey, now let's go to the main event, the Swamp Fight. Right? What happened to Braun Strowman? Is he dead? Like, is he actually dead? He didn't come back up from the swamp. The Fiend made his return. But what happened to Braun Strowman? Are they going to do the storyline that Braun Strowman is trying to run away from the Fiend, and that's how we get the Strowman versus the Fiend at SummerSlam? I like the Swamp Fight. I'm not going to lie. It was wacky because it fits with the Bray Wyatt character, but, can we get some sensible booking? You can tell, WWE did try tonight with this show, but to me, to be honest, it feels like they tried way too hard. It really does. And when they try too hard, they make mistakes. I want to give this show a thumbs up. I really do. But the endings for these matches make no sense. No sense. And now what? The tag team match. You gave Nakamura and Cesaro the titles. But let's be serious. You only did that because WWE wants to give New Day 1,000 tag team title reigns because Vince McMahon loves them. And he wants the New Day to be viewed as the greatest tag team of all time. So we all know what's going to happen at SummerSlam. New Day's going to gain the titles back. They're going to hot potato the titles right back to the New Day. Can we actually make sense with these endings? Come on. You're going to have people saying on Twitter, this was a great show. On paper, the in-ring action, yes, this was a great show from an in-ring perspective. But there's other things you have to consider. You have to consider the storyline. You have to consider that we're on the road to SummerSlam, WWE's second biggest pay-per-view of the year. You have to consider the storytelling and the finishes. There's a lot more than just in-ring action. This is what I'm talking about. You can find great in-ring action in any wrestling promotion. House of Glory, Impact, New Japan, AEW, NXT. You can find in-ring action anywhere. But I don't just watch WWE for the in-ring action. I watch for the storytelling. I watch for the entertainment. I watch for shock value. All these things have to be calculated. All these things have to be talked about when you're discussing the show. People are going to be like, yep, the matches were great. Yeah, Extreme Rules, great pay-per-view. This is why there's people like me in this community. This is why people come to listen to this damn podcast every single week. Because I'm here to educate you. Because WWE, they just want you to see this and be like, yep, that was great. But I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm here to give you facts. On paper, this show was a really good show. But when you look at everything and you put that all into a bowl, you mix it up, this show made absolutely no sense. This was an actual horror show. And we're going to go through this show in depth tonight, right here on the Legit Shoot podcast. I want to thank you guys for joining me. As I said at the beginning, I am Fitz Among TV, AKG Lauren 33. Thank you guys for stopping by on your Sunday night, or no matter when you guys are watching this, all right? Thank you to everyone who joined me for the live reaction stream. That was really fun. During the Sasha Banks and Asuka match, I was losing my mind. Plus, I had some guests join me for the live reaction. So definitely, my live reaction streams, man, are some of the best, videos I put out during the year. And we will be right back with another live reaction stream next month when we get the WWE SummerSlam. So if you guys didn't get to see the Extreme Rules live reaction, that video will be posted. It's like 2 hours long because we reacted to almost the whole show. So definitely make sure to go check that out, especially my reactions to the Sasha Banks. Just my reactions to the last hour of the show. My reactions to Sasha Banks and Asuka, Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler, and the Swamp Fight. It was pretty damn good. So definitely go check out my reactions to that. Thank you to everyone who is in the live chat, no matter if you're watching here live on the stream, no matter if you guys are watching on demand after the stream. Thank you guys for taking time to be here. Your support means the world. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe, because on here, I am the most honest podcaster in this community. You're not going to find anybody else that tells you how it is more than me. I do not bullshit you guys. I tell the truth all the time. All right? Kayshawn, before I go back with the rest of the stuff I need to say before we get into the actual show, Kayshawn Crawford says Sasha Banks does not deserve to be the Raw Women's Champion. Asuka beats her in the rematch tomorrow, or she does not deserve that title. Bro, Sasha Banks is the best female wrestler in the world. Sasha Banks deserves to be champion. I don't agree with the finish tonight, but Sasha deserves to be champion. Make sure to get your words correctly. All right, come on. All right. I'm trying to see your point, but don't say Sasha doesn't deserve to be champ. She does deserve to be champ. It's just that they went about it in the worst way possible. And like I said, I don't even know we're still getting Sasha versus Bayley at SummerSlam. Honestly, I'm so confused with this situation. I really am. But here we are, guys. A couple things. I want to thank my boy Sal Reacts. He's the one that does all our layouts for Raw and SmackDown. He made this beautiful Extreme Rules layout for us tonight. So shout out to my boy Sal Reacts. If you guys haven't noticed, for those of you guys who listen to the podcast every single week, we made some quality upgrades before we talk about Extreme Rules. As you guys can see, I am using a new camera. I'm using the Canon EOS M50. I have it cropped in OBS right now. That's why you see this little black bottom. But I'm upgrading the quality, so hopefully it looks good for you guys that are watching. I'm trying to give you guys the best. So we'll be using this camera going forward for most of our videos. So hopefully you guys like the quality here on this new Canon camera. Also, if you guys notice, we're using a new microphone. We're using the Elgato Wave. It's the new microphone that was released by Elgato. It's pretty good. Let me know how it sounds. I usually use my Yeti, but I decided to upgrade to this. So for those of you guys who listen every single week, let me know how it sounds, how I'm coming up to you guys. I'm trying to give you guys the best quality in the community. But let me take a sip of my water. Refreshing. But yeah, one more time, thank you to everyone who joined the live reaction stream. Thank you to everyone who live tweeted with me tonight for Extreme Rules. Like I said, I live tweet almost during Raw, SmackDown, and all pay-per-views. So definitely, guys, if you guys want to interact with me, just follow me down below on social media. So we're gonna get into Extreme Rules, the horror show. Huh. I see Broken Tax. Broken Tax says Extreme Rules 2020 was compared. He compared Extreme Rules to Battlegrounds 2017. I don't know if I would go that low. This show wasn't terrible. It's just the endings towards the matches that make no sense. But let's not waste any more time. I know there's a lot of people streaming tonight. I know JD is live right now. Song Monster is live right now. What happened? So let's start off with that. Before well, we do have the kickoff show. So I didn't watch the kickoff show. I did watch the highlights. It's Kevin Owens versus Buddy Murphy. These are two of the best wrestlers on Raw. You knew that this was going to be a good match. Owens got the win here with the stunner, and yeah, that was about it. There are rumors saying Kevin Owens is going to reignite his feud with Seth Rollins. I hope that's not the case because I don't want to see that. It should have ended after WrestleMania. But the Kevin Owens versus Buddy Murphy was a good match. Like I said, the in-ring action on this show was fantastic. It's just the endings, man. That bothers me so much. So much. But where do I want to start? I think we should probably talk about MVP versus Apollo Crews. So the whole deal is basically Apollo Crews tested positive for the coronavirus. That's the reason why we haven't been seeing Apollo Crews as of late. He has not been cleared to compete. So basically, this match was advertised for tonight's show. They were hoping he would be cleared in time, but that wasn't the case. They actually interviewed MVP on the pre-show about this match tonight, and it pisses me off because on the pre-show, I don't watch the pre-shows, but I know there's a lot of people that do. Why did they just announce on the pre-show that this match was going to happen? Why did you have to waste 5 minutes of our time for the main show to announce that MVP versus Apollo Crews was not happening? Like, come on. So Tom Phillips announces due to injury, Apollo Crews was not able to pass his pre-match physical. Come on, let's not be stupid here. Apollo tested positive for the coronavirus, and he has not been cleared yet to complete. So he was not able to defend the U.S. Championship. So, the Hurt Business, Lashley, and MVP, they come out and basically that MVP declares himself the winner by forfeit and the new United States champion. So he puts the belt around his waist. This is not official. It's not official that MVP is the new United States champion. I don't know when this match is going to happen. There's rumors saying that they were planning Lashley versus Crews for SummerSlam. I don't know. Maybe if Crews is able to compete in the next couple of weeks, that is the route they go. But honestly, I just don't care about this that much. I kind of just want Apollo to turn heel. Just drop the title to Lashley and then just turn heel and join MVP stable. Because MVP, when he's in that that manager role, when he's not competing, he's fantastic. Him and Lashley are one of the best things on Raw, outside of Drew McIntyre and Sasha Banks and Bayley. But man, I don't want to see MVP in the ring in 2020. I say this almost every time we have to see MVP in the ring. Nobody wants to see that. He's no longer at that ability where he can compete like that. Like, let's be honest here, bro. Let's be honest. I like MVP and Lashley as a heel duo, but MVP as an in-ring competitor should not be happening. If they had announced that Apollo had to forfeit the U.S. Championship, I would have much rather taken that. Like, why do we have to continue to drag this on? Apollo's not able to compete. Whatever. If you had him vacate the U.S. champion and just name MVP champion, that's one thing. But the thing is, MVP is still not the official U.S. champion. Apollo still is. He was just not. He was unable to compete. So we have to keep dragging this on that MVP is, running around with a belt that's not official, even though the United States Championship looks clean. It looks beautiful. But it doesn't make any sense at the end of the day. He's not the official champion. Like I said, Apollo Crews was a Paul Heyman project. And the second Paul Heyman was gone, you can tell WWE couldn't wait to get that belt off him. But they're really dragging this. I would have much rather them had just had, had Apollo drop the belt tonight, or vacate the title, or forfeit it, or whatever, and then just declare MVP champion. Like I said, because now we have to wait a little bit longer for Apollo versus MVP just so we can get the Apollo versus Lashley. And even though Lashley versus Apollo, that would be a really good match, I just don't care for it. I really just don't care. I'd rather you just get the title on MVP or Lashley so we can move on to other things, like Cedric Alexander or Ricochet or an Aleister Black or Owens or somebody else challenging for the title. Because, like I said, Raw's division has so much talent. SmackDown has some talent, but Raw's division is an all-star roster. It's just that the creative is so terrible, and Vince McMahon is so out of touch that they're not using the roster to its full potential. And I absolutely hate that. I really do. So let me know what you guys think about this whole dragon situation. I don't know how much longer they're going to drag this. Will we see Apollo on Raw tomorrow? I'm willing to bet not. Like, why would he? If he wasn't on Extreme Rules tonight, why would they have Apollo on Raw tomorrow? Like, let's be serious here. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense at the end of the day. I hate it. I really do. Let's move on. Let's get the title off Apollo and let's move on. Because clearly WWE doesn't want the title on Apollo since Paul Heyman is no longer there. So let's move on. Absolutely ridiculous. They should have not wasted our time tonight having MVP and Lashley come out there just to tell us that Apollo was not going to be able to compete. It was retarded. It was stupid. Let's move on. Get that title off Apollo since you don't want him to have it so badly. So we can actually get some legit feuds and some legit matches to build up the United States champion. I hate when WWE does this. So moving on. We talked about the pre-show. We talked about the U.S. Championship match that did not happen. Let's actually get the matches that did happen on the main card. First match of the night. This match was announced late. We had a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Tables match between the 8-time champs, The New Day, and Nakamura and Cesaro. This was really good. The only reason why Nakamura and Cesaro are in the tag team division is because SmackDown has nobody. The Usos are injured. The Forgotten Sons, who were supposed to be the ones feuding with the New Day, they've been taken off TV. They're being repackaged because, Riker's an idiot. And, Heavy Machinery, I don't know why WWE's not using them, right? Like, if it was up to me, I would have Heavy Machinery feuding with Miz and Morrison to determine the next challengers for the New Day. The only reason why Nakamura and Cesaro are being put in this situation is because Sami Zayn's not there right now, and you have no other heel tag teams that actually go up against the New Day. Either way, this was a great match. Like I said, for some reason, for most pay-per-views, WWE makes a lot of sense on their pay-per-views. Like, they'll give us good matches, but the builds will be absolute garbage. This is the case, with this whole thing, because they threw around this whole feud between the New Day and Cesaro and Nakamura the last 2 weeks, with Nakamura and Cesaro saying, they deserve to be treated better, they deserve respect. And so they threw around this whole thing, giving us this match tonight. Remember, Cesaro defeated Big E or I think Cesaro defeated Kofi. It was one of those two. But Cesaro won his match on Friday, which led to Cesaro and Nakamura being able to pick the stipulation for this match, and they picked a tables match. I'll say one thing also. We saw a couple of table spots tonight, and these table spots were brilliant. For some reason, I don't know if WWE got new tables or something, but the fact that the tables break cleanly now, I love it. Too many times, if you go back in like the last couple of years, you look at table spots, the tables won't break fully. They'll break like halfway, or they'll break in like a weird angle, and it won't look good. But the table spots we saw tonight were absolutely beautiful. It gave me those old school vibes. Like if you watch like WrestleMania 17 with the Hardy Boys going up against Edge and Christian and the Dudleys, Remember when those teams all got thrown off ladders into tables on the outside of the ring? Remember like Undertaker versus Edge from SummerSlam 2008? Remember how clean those table spots were? We actually got those tonight, and I actually appreciate that. I love when tables break cleanly. But This was a good match. This was a good opening to the show, and it's the New Day. But basically, the match ended the same way SmackDown ended a couple weeks ago. Remember, we had Nakamura and Cesaro going up against the New Day, and they gave us a DQ finish for SmackDown, and they had Nakamura and Cesaro power bomb Kofi through a table. That's the same way this match ended tonight. But instead of one table, it was two, and it was clean. It was a really good spot, really good spot. But here's the thing: we know where WWE is going with this. We know exactly where this is going. I love Nakamura, and Nakamura and Cesaro. They work great as a tag team. But the way I look at it, Nakamura should be in a singles role. If you really wanted to do this right, I would have had Sheamus realign himself with Cesaro, bring back the bar, and that would have been much better. Nakamura, I just don't see him fitting as a tag team. Even though Nakamura and Shinsuke, I mean, I'm getting my names all messed up. Even though Nakamura and Cesaro, they gel together. They don't gel as good as Nakamura or not Nakamura. They don't gel as good as Cesaro and Sheamus did when they were the bar. That's the way I would do it. And here's another thing. You really think Nakamura and Cesaro are holding those tag team championships for long? No. SummerSlam is 4 weeks away. Let's be serious. It's been almost a year since Xavier Woods tore his ACL. Xavier Woods is going to be coming back to WWE any day now. He's going to rejoin Big E and Kofi Kingston as the New Day. I wouldn't be surprised if they do it at SummerSlam. I don't know how close he is to being fully recovered, but it's basically been a year, so he should be back any day now, right? And it's SummerSlam. We all know WWE wants to make New Day the greatest tag team of all time. So what do you think is going to happen? New Day are going to regain the SmackDown Tag Team Championships at SummerSlam, and they're going to be 9-time tag team champs. Like, really? I would much rather them just continue this feud into SummerSlam with the New Day. You could have done something else tonight, really. You could have had maybe New Day win and then Nakamura and Cesaro attack them after the bell to continue this in the SummerSlam. But we all know New Day's going to regain those titles at SummerSlam. We know how much Vince loves the New Day. And it's pretty obvious where this is going to go. And if you can't see that, you're just an idiot. It's clear as day where WWE is going with this situation. Let's be serious. But it was a good match tonight. It's just predictable. New Day will regain those tag team championships at SummerSlam. Taking a sip of water. All right. As we move on into Bayley versus Nikki Cross, I just want to let you guys know, leave a like on the video if you guys are enjoying the podcast, because it really helps me out. It makes the video enter the recommended section of YouTube. So leave a like on the video, guys, please, if you guys want to continue to support the podcast, if you guys are watching right now. I see we got a good amount of viewership, so leave a like. Joseph Kusa, I see you in the chat, bro. Is this still live? Of course it's still live. I want it to be live. Is something going on with the chat? Let me check. I would hope that it would say it's still live. I would get really pissed off if it said we weren't live. Oh yes, we're still live. All right, dang Joseph, like you're confusing me, bro. You got me scared thinking I'm talking to nobody. But anyway, let's move on into the SmackDown Women's Championship. Nikki Cross versus Bayley. This was a great match. This was a great match. Probably one of Bayley's best as SmackDown Women's Champion. Right? And, Bayley and Nikki Cross, they faced off a lot over the last year. This was definitely their best match. So the story going on here, Bayley has pinned Nikki Cross twice in the last 2 weeks. Twice in the last 2 weeks. And, the whole thing is Nikki Cross, she was losing her confidence, her thinking that she was not going to be able to defeat Bayley. And the way I was thinking, I'm like, there's no way they're taking the title off Bayley. But the thing is, they wanted to make you believe that it could happen. because before the match they have Asuka, Kyrie Sane, and Alexa Bliss all cheering Nikki on, giving her confidence. And legit, there was a couple moments where I thought they might actually give Nikki Cross the belt. I like Nikki Cross, but she's just not there yet. Maybe one day she'll become women's champion, but she's just not there yet. So basically, as the match started, she hit her. Nikki Cross hit her with a neck breaker, right away. So WWE does this. They'll have somebody hit a finisher right away. To create that shock. Make you think, are we gonna see a quick match? Is it gonna be a quick finish? But basically, Bailey kicked out at 1. Then she hit her with a tornado DDT. This was a really good match. It was back and forth. During the middle of the match, Bailey hit a Bailey to belly. Cross kicked out again. Cross hit a basement drop kick. Then she did, her running bulldog and the ripcord neck breaker. She also hit a neck breaker on Bailey on the outside of the ring. So that was her second neck breaker of the match. And Sasha Banks was telling Bailey from ringside, you have to pull it together. And, I love seeing Sasha holding both Women's Tag Team Championships and Bailey's SmackDown Women's Championship. Sasha did become 2 belts banked tonight, but we'll talk about that a little bit later because the controversy in that match, oh my gosh. But Cross really did good here. There was a moment in the match where Cross scored another close 2 count, and Sasha's face was just absolutely amazing. Sasha has some of the best facial expressions. So then Sasha distracted the referee. Then Alexa came in, tried to stop Sasha. So during this time, while all this confusion's going on, Sasha actually took off her boss knuckles. You guys know how she wears like legit boss knuckles all the time. So she took off one of her knuckles. It's basically a pair of brass knuckles. She took it off, gave it to Bailey. Nobody saw it. So while the referee was getting Sasha and Alexa off the ring apron, Bailey hits Nikki Cross in the ribcage with the brass knuckles, and then she pins Bailey pins Cross with a face plant finisher. 1, 2, 3. Bailey, with the help of Sasha Banks, once again retains the SmackDown Women's Championship. And after this match, I'm thinking, okay, so when we have Sasha Banks versus Asuka later on, will Bailey return the favor? Will Bailey try to help Sasha? And then, it actually leads to Sasha losing, and that, causing the tension between Sasha and Bailey, leading to a Sasha and Bailey breakup? I don't know. But that was not the case. We got something completely different. And guys know we will talk about that. And Mark Strike says, don't forget WWE stole the Alexa idea from Adam from What Culture. What idea are you talking about, bro? Like, I'm not sure what Alexa idea. Like, let me know what you think about that. But I would say this: Bailey and Nikki Cross. This was a really good match tonight. And I love Sasha helping Bailey because they can use that when the Sasha versus Bailey feud actually happens. Excuse me. I drank a lot of water, so I'm just burping, unexpectedly. Moving on. We had an eye for an eye match. We had Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins, and there was a lot. We really didn't know what we were gonna expect. There was rumors going on that this match was gonna have a cinematic ending. It didn't. It was basically a normal one-on-one match, but you could use objects because the whole point was to rake your opponent's eye out. And I've been saying for weeks, the way WWE should have gone about this is they should have had Dominic more involved. You brought Dominic in, and you barely used him. You made it more about Mysterio versus Rollins, when honestly the story should have been Dominic versus Seth Rollins. I thought we were gonna lead to having Dominic versus Seth Rollins tonight, and then if Dominic loses, he would be forced to join Seth Rollins' Messiah clan, and then maybe at SummerSlam, that's when we get the big payoff with Rollins versus Mysterio. Then they went a whole completely different direction, and they've done a bunch of madness with this feud, and they really got me uninterested in it. I knew the match was going to be good because, it's Rollins and Mysterio. They're two of the best in the world. And it was a good match. It was very physical. Rey Mysterio was like Goku from Dragon Ball, Ultra Instinct, dodging every single one of Rollins' attacks. Rollins trying to use candlesticks and chairs, and any object he could get his hands on to try to rip out, Mysterio's eye. Mysterio was very physical in this match as well. Mysterio did hit a 619 and a frog splash. In any other match that required a pinfall or submission, that would be a victory for Mysterio, but that was not the case on this night. Rey hit a stomp on Rollins, giving him a taste of his own medicine. Then we see Mysterio remove the black eye patch from his mask, and you can see Mysterio's eye has healed. He also drove Rollins' eyes into the ring steps, and it actually looked like he did some kind of damage to Rollins' eye. I don't know if that was just makeup, but Rollins had like a little bit of red swelling afterwards, so it looked like some legit damage was done. But then, as Mysterio is raking Rollins' eyes into the ring steps, we see Rollins using his environment to his advantage. He low blows Mysterio. Then he hits a super kick on Mysterio, and then he does a stomp on the outside of the ring. So then the whole way this feud started, remember, the night after WrestleMania, we see Rollins putting Mysterio's eyes into the ring steps, and then the ref calls for the bell. And I hated this. I really did. Because I was like, all right, you're doing this whole eye for an eye, but at least show us. We knew that they weren't really going to have Mysterio get his eye out. But the presentation of it was so bad. They could have done so much better. So you have Rollins raking Mysterio's eye into the ring step. You have the ref call for the bell, right? So Dominic, who was backstage the entire time, so this doesn't make sense. This wasn't there was no disqualifications in this match. So I'm sitting there like, hey, where the hell is Buddy Murphy? Where's Aleister Black or KO? Where's Humberto? Like, why are more people involved in this? Like, where's Dominic? You brought Dominic into this, right? You had Dominic and Rey Mysterio almost beat Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series last year. So why isn't, Dominic here helping his father out now? This is a more dangerous situation per storyline, right? The loser is supposed to lose an eye. What are we doing here? So you have Dominic and the referee, and you have medical people come out. You have Mysterio holding his right eye, like in pain, and it looked like, he had it. I don't know if that was CGI and I was worried about this coming in. How are they going to do the ending of this match? Because we don't see WWE do CGI. Rarely. We don't see them do these types of things. So we see Mysterio. I don't know what the hell that was. I don't know if they had or Mysterio had some kind of fake eye makeup, or I don't know what that was. And then you have Rollins over near the barricade vomiting. And it was fake vomit. It was disgusting. Rollins vomiting in the corner is more disgusting than Mysterio, per storyline, getting his eye raked out. I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the hell am I watching here? This makes no sense. So then you have Mysterio get taken to the back. We never get to actually see, we don't see any blood. We don't actually get to see if Mysterio actually got his eye taken out. But instead, all we see is Rollins. Everybody's booing Rollins. Then they start chanting Rey, 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 right? And then I'm just like, what the hell? Rollins just goes backstage and that's it. It makes no sense here. So what? Tomorrow night on Raw, you're going to have Rollins give a damn promo talking about, I'm sorry for what I had to do to Mysterio, but this was for the greater good. And I still don't understand what the greater good is. He never explained what the hell is the greater good. I don't get it. What the hell is the greater good? Huh? What sense does it make? So now where do we go from here? What, you're going to have Kevin Owens go up against Rollins again? As great as those two are, and we've seen those matches a bunch of times, I don't want to see it anymore. You should have ended the feud after WrestleMania. I thought we were gonna get Rollins versus Edge, you know? But then they did the whole greatest wrestling match ever with Edge and Orton, and then they were supposed to do a third match between Edge and Randy Orton for SummerSlam, but that can't happen because Edge hasn't recovered from his triceps injury yet. So clearly, we're not going to see Rollins versus Edge for a while. We could see that at WrestleMania next year, but still, I was hoping we could get that for SummerSlam. If I'm WWE right now, I would book Seth Rollins to go up against Aleister Black. Even though I don't. It's honestly, when I look at Monday Night Raw's roster, it makes the most sense. Who else are you going to put Rollins up? Who are you going to put him up against? You already did Drew McIntyre at Money in the Bank, or not Money in the Bank. You did it at Backlash, right? You did Mysterio. But I don't want to see Rollins versus Humberto. We've seen Rollins versus Owens already. You look at the landscape of Monday Night Raw, how many more baby faces are there for Rollins to feud with? Aleister Black makes the most sense. I don't want to see Owens again. I don't. Like, unless you move Rollins to SmackDown and you have him feud with the baby faces over there. But to be honest, there's not even many baby faces right now on SmackDown. Honestly, this is what you should probably do. You should have Rollins feud with Aleister Black. Have Aleister Black take Rollins out per storyline. So then Rollins can go home and be with his fiancee Becky Lynch, who's going to be delivering her child at the end of the year. And then I would have Rollins come back next year around the Royal Rumble time so he can start a feud with Edge. That's the way I would personally do it. Because when I look at it, there's not many people for Rollins to feud with. I don't want to see Rollins versus Owens again. I really don't. That's really all I can think of right now for Seth Rollins, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. Rey Mysterio, we heard all the rumors that he's not under contract right now. He didn't re-sign or hasn't re-signed yet. WWE is still paying him in terms of his last deal, the deal that expired recently. I don't know. This is probably a way that's going to write Mysterio off TV permanently. And yeah, we all knew Rollins was going to win this. But the ending was absolutely terrible, and it made no sense. It didn't really help Rollins at the end of the day with the whole vomiting stuff. They could still do Rollins versus Dominic, but really, now that Mysterio is going to be taken out per storyline, I don't really want to see it. WWE really, I was interested at it at first, but they really messed it up. They really messed it up, and I hate it. I hate when WWE does this crap. All right. Edward Jones. Edward Jones. Are you a new subscriber, bro? I see you in the chat. I don't know if I recognize your name, but thanks for joining me here tonight on the podcast, bro. But Edward Jones says, Vince is trying to put heat on Sasha. I'm a huge fan of Sasha Banks and Roman Reigns. Please don't be mad at Sasha. Edward Jones, I don't know if you've been here before. I'm going to assume you haven't. This is probably the most pro Sasha Banks channel in the community. I'm one of the biggest Sasha Banks fans in the world. So I would never be mad at Sasha. I'm mad at the ending tonight, yes, because WWE messed it up. But I am not mad at Sasha at all. All right? But speaking of that, let's talk about Sasha Banks and Asuka. This, in my opinion, was the main event of the show. I was hyped for this. I was hoping this would be, the actual main event. It was my main event, to be honest. But I thought it would actually main event the show for us tonight, but it didn't. And honestly, with the ending tonight, I don't know if it should. The match between Sasha Banks and Asuka was absolutely fantastic. Sasha and Asuka were close to going to match of the year. It was that damn good. It was like over 20 minutes of pure awesomeness. But the ending made no sense. Still, people are wondering, did Sasha win? Like, there was no, it took forever for them to ring the bell. There was no official announcement. They just started randomly playing Sasha's music. Like, the ending makes no sense. And the thing about it is, I'm trying to make sense of this. But I can't. I can't make sense of it at the end of the day. And I just don't know what to say. I really don't. I see on WWE's Instagram, they have posted new photos of Sasha Banks and Bayley. So we got some new digitals. So I'll probably have to update the thumbnail after this. But Sasha versus Asuka was fantastic. This was the main event of tonight's show. And like I said this in the preview and predictions. Sasha versus Asuka has the chance to be match of the year candidate. It had a chance to be match of the year. And it probably would be in the conversation. This was one of Asuka's best matches on the main roster. Because anybody that faces up against Sasha Banks, you know, anybody that goes up against, it's going to be one of their best matches because Sasha's the best female wrestler in the world. But the ending makes zero sense here. So basically, here's what happened. Let's talk about it. So Sasha comes out with Bayley. Sasha has a beautiful, green and gray attire. I love how Sasha comes out with new attires every single show. But basically, then Asuka comes out with Kairi Sane, and it was great. Sasha went for a bake statement early. Asuka escaped. We also see Sasha then try to go for a sunset flip powerbomb outside the ring. Asuka stumped out of it and blasted her with a sliding knee to the face. This match was fast, it was aggressive, and it had great pacing. I was, if you guys saw the live reaction, if you guys were on my live reaction stream, man, I was commentating like I was freaking Tom Phillips. And I hate Tom Phillips. If you guys were in the live reaction stream, tell me not. I'm a better live commentator than Michael Cole and Tom Phillips combined. Holy shit, am I good? Anyway, so basically, Sasha hit her with a sliding knee to the face. Then Sasha took control here, hitting rest holds and definitely causing damage to Asuka's legs and her back. Bayley is shouting words of encouragement from ringside. Sasha did her normal double knees to the midsection. We see Asuka then rock Banks. See, Asuka hit Banks with a code breaker, which looked pretty damn good. Then Asuka went for the hip attack, but Sasha evaded. Sasha tried to go for a German suplex off the apron, which would have been crazy if it actually went through. But Asuka elbowed out of it. Then Asuka went for a German suplex off the apron. Sasha escaped and powerbombed Asuka into the plexiglass at ringside. I love when Sasha does that powerbomb because people sleep on Sasha's strength. People always talking about, Charlotte, and I love Bianca Belair, but they're always talking about how those are the strongest women in WWE. Don't sleep on Sasha. Like, you see Sasha's, body, you see her workouts on her social media, she is built. She is built. This powerbomb looked just as good, if not better, than the one she did on Io Shirai at NXT Great American Bash. Sasha hit a frog splash, then transitioned into the bake statement for the second time. Asuka was able to grab the rope, breaking the hold. Then Asuka starts building up more momentum. She hit a beautiful German suplex. Like, this was like Brock Lesnar level of German suplex. And Sasha, she's always selling out of her mind for her opponents. It doesn't matter who it is. Sasha did some amazing selling here. Then Asuka finally hits the running hip attack. Sasha escapes the pin at 2. All right. So then we see Sasha fight out of a superplex. Then she drops Asuka to the mat. It looked like Sasha was going for, I don't know if she was going to do a moonsault. It looked like Sasha was taking too much time deciding what she was going to do. Asuka recovers. She tried for a German suplex off the top, but Sasha was able to land on her feet. This was a scary part of the match for me because at first, it looked like Sasha may have injured her knee, but Sasha being so damn good. They showed a replay like 10 seconds later, and it was revealed that Sasha actually did take damage from the German suplex. She took damage from the German suplex and she injured her knee, but she was selling the effects of the knee. So Sasha didn't actually get injured, but she's so damn good that it looks like she got injured. So that's like I said, Sasha was selling out of her mind here. And then Sasha is yelling at Asuka, I have to be the champion. I have to be the champion. I love this. All right. Then we see Asuka try to go for the Asuka lock, but Bayley provides a distraction. This is when stuff gets wacky. So Bayley and Kairi Sane start brawling at ringside. Bayley hits Kairi Sane with the Bayley the Belly. Then we see some beautiful counters. Sasha and Asuka are trading roll-ups. I love it. Bayley's trying everything she can to interfere, but she got a kick from Asuka. So then the action breaks down. Kairi Sane gave Asuka the green mist. Remember when Asuka hit Sasha with the green mist at NXT Great American Bash? Sasha was ready for it tonight. I loved it. Sasha was ready for this. She was not playing. So um, ba- then we see Asuka go for the green mist. Sasha dodges it. She actually hits the referee. So at this point, I'm just like, all right, let's get a second referee down here. This is how Sasha is going to win, right? No, Bayley comes into the ring, takes off the referee's shirt. I don't remember when was the last time we seen something like this. Bayley comes into the ring, puts on the referee's shirts, counts the pin. She didn't do a fast count. She did a very slow count. So even if a second referee came into the ring, because Bayley hit Asuka with the tag team championship belt from behind, knocking her out. So even if a second referee came in the ring, Sasha would have still won. This is my problem. If they had just brought out a second referee, nobody would be complaining about this ending at all. It would have been perfect. But instead, you have Bayley put on the referee shirt, confusing everybody. She made the count. It was a slow count, so it wasn't a fast count. Because if it was a fast count, it would have made no sense. But Bayley was never, announced or revealed as an official referee. All she did was put on the referee shirt, right? She makes the count, and she declares Sasha Banks as the new champion, as everybody is confused. I'm confused. You're confused. Everyone in the live chat was confused. I was on Discord with a bunch of my friends. We're all confused. Bayley goes to the outside because Sasha's trying to recover. Bayley goes to the ring announcer, right? And a bell ringer. She orders the bell ringer to ring the bell. He does. But Mike Rome never made an official announcement that Sasha had won the match because it was never really revealed that Bayley had become an official referee. So now, Sasha's confused. She's happy to be champ, but she's confused at the same time. She has no idea. I don't know if Sasha even knew that Bayley made the count. So now everyone's confused. And now Sasha and Bayley are double champions. They run the entire company. They have all the gold, but it's so confusing. And still, nobody knows if Sasha really won the match. Nobody knows if Sasha match. They posted pictures on Instagram of Sasha with the double belts, but I'm just like, huh? I would have no problem with Sasha becoming Raw Women's Champion here. That's what I wanted. Sasha Banks is the best female wrestler in the world. I would have no problem if they merged the divisions, and that's how we get the Sasha Banks and Bayley feud. I would have no problems if we had something like that, right? I would have no problems if they, had a second referee come out. But the thing is, there's no authority figures on WWE TV. We have no GMs. There's no authority right now. There's nobody. So it's like superstars can make these decisions by themselves, and this is where the confusion comes from. I don't like, authority figures. I hate them, to be honest. I hate GMs. But in this situation, it would have made perfect sense for Triple H or Stephanie or Shane McMahon or somebody to come out and either restart the match or bring out a second referee. Because now everyone's confused. Bayley never made herself the official ring announcer. Or not a ring announcer, official referee. It makes no sense. So is Sasha really the Raw Women's Champion now? Or is Asuka still the champion? I don't know. Even though Asuka was down. And the thing about it is, Sasha Banks did play the heel. There was a point when the referee was down, Sasha was tapping out to the Asuka lock. But the thing about it is, there was no referee, so I'm fine with that. Plus, Sasha Banks is heel. But now here, I don't know what's going to happen now. What do you do now? Are we going to see Sasha Banks versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship tomorrow night? Because now people are going to be watching Raw because they're going to want to know what happens. And yes, I'm fine with us getting another Sasha Banks and Asuka match. Because this, like I said, this match was on its way to being match of the year. It was that damn good. The match was absolutely fantastic. But the ending makes no sense. The ending makes no sense. All you had to do was bring down a second referee, and no one's sitting here complaining. So now what's going to happen? Because it's been teased that since Kairi Sane is probably leaving WWE, So they've been teasing, all right, doing Asuka versus Kairi Sane for the Raw Women's Championship at SummerSlam. We still could get Sasha Banks and Bayley, which is what we all want. But it makes no sense now. It really doesn't make any sense. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. What if you do Sasha Banks versus Asuka tomorrow night and Sasha Banks loses the Raw Women's Championship? I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna rant. I'm gonna bitch and moan because you guys already know. If you guys were here, if you guys were subscribed to the channel when we had Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss, if you guys saw that Monday Night Raw review a couple years ago, one of my best reviews ever, because I ranted for a whole hour on that crap. We all talk about how Sasha Banks had an 8-day title reign against Alexa Bliss. Hell, WWE's gonna triple down on that and give Sasha Banks a 24-hour championship reign. Nobody wants to see that. I don't care if it's gonna lead to Sasha Banks and Bayley. I don't want to see Sasha having a 24-hour championship reign. Are you serious? If this was supposed to be for WWE, if this was supposed to be for controversy, and WWE's actually planning on doing, Sasha Banks and Bayley for both titles at SummerSlam, fine. But if Sasha loses the Raw Women's Championship to Asuka tomorrow night on Raw, you guys may get the rant of the century tomorrow night for Extreme Rules. And I don't care what anybody says. I don't want to see Sasha losing her championship. Yes, I love Sasha Banks. I love the way she's being booked. But this ending did not make any sense. They ruined one of the best matches of the year with some nonsense like this. This match was so simple to book. So simple. The ending could have been so simple. If you bring down that second referee, we're talking about one of the best matches of the year. But now, when we go back in time at the end of the year and we talk about the best matches of the year, we're going to talk about, yes, Sasha Banks and Asuka, but remember how the match ended. The match didn't end clean. It ended with a bunch of nonsense. If Sasha Banks beats Asuka tomorrow night on Raw, fine. I'm fine. But if she loses tomorrow night and it goes down in the record books that Sasha had a 24-hour championship reign, I'm going to shit all over this show. Like, I don't care if Sasha gets Asuka or not Asuka. If Sasha gets Bayley at SummerSlam and they rectify the situation, it's going to make me think, why give Sasha the title in the first place? Why would you give Sasha Banks the title in the first place? Just to lose it to Asuka 24 hours later. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. So please, WWE, if anybody from this company is watching this podcast right now, please, let Sasha beat Asuka tomorrow night. Because if Sasha doesn't beat Asuka tomorrow night, it's going to make everything look so much worse. So much worse. And I hope and I pray just somebody from WWE is watching this podcast here tonight. I really do hope. I don't trust this company for the life of me. But I really do hope that's the case tomorrow night. It was a great match, but it was ruined by a fucking horrific ending. Let's just hope WWE doesn't do what we think they're going to do tomorrow night and have Asuka win back the Raw Women's Championship. I could see something like this before we move on. Maybe, because like I said, I don't think Sasha ever noticed that Bayley had put on the referee's shirt. I think Sasha was so busy, trying to recover from the Asuka lock that she had no idea what the hell was going on. What I think WWE should do, tomorrow night, Sasha's like, why did you do that? Because now Sasha has to face Asuka tomorrow night. What I would do is Sasha would be like, Bayley, I love you, but why did you do that? Why did you, I wanted to beat Asuka the right way, right? Start have Sasha teasing that she's going to turn babyface. Then tomorrow night, maybe you have Bayley cost Sasha the match, right? And that finally leads to Sasha and Bayley. And then maybe a couple weeks down the line, they lose the tag team titles. And then that leads to Sasha Banks and Bayley at SummerSlam. But I don't know. Definitely tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw is a must-watch. But I am very worried that they're going to fuck up this entire situation with the way that match ended tonight. I hope I'm wrong. Like I don't say that often. I don't often say I hope I'm wrong, but in this instance, I really do hope that I am wrong. I see Ray viciously in the chat. Are you a new subscriber, bro? I don't recognize your name, but Ray says Asuka sucks, Sasha rocks. I won't go that far. I love Asuka. But Sasha Banks is the best female wrestler in the world. So I'll agree with you there, but I wouldn't say Asuka sucks. But yeah. But let's just hope WWE doesn't make me right. I want to be wrong in this situation. If we have Sasha versus Asuka tomorrow night, I hope Sasha wins. Moving on. We had Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler for the WWE Championship match. And before we move on, for anybody that's watching this, anybody in the chat, leave a like on the video right now. It gets more eyes on the podcast. So please leave a like if you guys are enjoying the podcast so far. I'm drinking a lot of water tonight. Because here in Boston, it was like 100 degrees today. And the temperature is like, it's still like 85 degrees right now. And my AC's not on because it would make too much noise. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Ray says, Sasha and Bayley better stay a team. They should stay a team. I'll be honest with you. Sasha and Bayley should stay a team. I said this on the previous prediction shows. If you wanted to do Sasha versus Bayley at SummerSlam, I would do it heel versus heel. Have Sasha and Bayley happen, and then Sasha beats Bayley, but they stay friends. So then later on, Sasha and Bayley can actually turn on one another. Bayley turns on Sasha, and then that leads to Sasha and Bayley at WrestleMania with a live crowd next year. That's the way I would do it. But, they went a completely different direction tonight. I see you, Jazz. Jazz14 says, I'm mad too. I'm ranting too. What the hell, man? I agree with you, bro. But I think I made my point clear on the whole Sasha and Asuka situation. I think I spent like 20 minutes talking about that nonsense. But WWE Championship match, Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. Going into this match, Dolph Ziggler made a very smart heel move. Drew McIntyre did not know the stipulation of the match going in, but let's be serious. Nobody, and even Dolph Ziggler knew this. Nobody thought that Dolph Ziggler was going to beat Drew McIntyre. It's already basically been confirmed that we're going to get Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. This is just another match for Drew McIntyre's title reign. I'll say this, the match was fantastic. Like I said, we saw really good matches tonight. The tables match was great. Bayley versus Cross was great. Rollins versus Mysterio was great up until the finish. Sasha Banks and Asuka was looking like a match of the year candidate until the ending. McIntyre versus Ziggler was great as well. So here's the stipulation for the match. Dolph and Drew come out. They announce the match. Dolph takes the microphone and he announced that, and this was a lopsided match stipulation. They advertised this match as a stipulation that we never seen before. There was people trolling on Facebook that, there was a poster going around that Drew versus Dolph was going to be a TLC match. And I thought, I knew WWE was trolling. There was no way that was going to be the stipulation. Especially when we had a tables match to begin the show for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. So I knew that was not going to be the stipulation for this match. But basically, the stipulation was this would be an Extreme Rules match, but it would only be an Extreme Rules match for Dolph Ziggler. So Ziggler could use all the weapons he wanted, but Drew would not be able to use anything. It would be an Extreme Rules match for Dolph, but a normal match for Drew. So the only way Drew could win the match was by normal rules, pinfall or submission. He was not allowed to use any weapons. And even though this was a great stipulation, it just makes Dolph look that much more retarded at the end of the day. Even though we all knew that Dolph was not going to win. We knew Dolph had zero chance of winning. But it still makes Dolph look like a freaking idiot. And like I said, Dolph should not be in another world title match for the rest of his career after tonight. There is no way. I don't care. We all knew that Dolph was not going to win. Because it's going to be Drew versus Orton at SummerSlam. But I don't care. You had an Extreme Rules stipulation for yourself. You could use all the weapons you want, and your opponent can't. He can only win by normal means. You could have just blasted him with 1,000 chair shots and win the match that way. And Dolph did everything in his pocket to try to win. And it makes Drew look like an absolute badass coming out of the match. But at the end of the day, Dolph still lost. And it makes him, from a storyline perspective, look like a freaking idiot. Like, I love Dolph Ziggler. He is fantastic. But WWE doesn't know how to book this guy at all. It's terrible. It's terrible. So getting into the match itself. Drew McIntyre, I love Drew. Even though he had a lopsided stipulation against himself, that didn't stop him from absolutely going in and trying to hurt Dolph Ziggler. So Drew was like, I could do this all damn night, pulling a freaking Captain America. And Ziggler answered with a, low blow. He blasted McIntyre with a steel chair to the head. We don't see headshots anymore. Usually WWE only does like gut chair shots and back chair shots, but we actually see Dolph hit freaking Drew like an Attitude Era chair shot to the head. McIntyre recovered. He tossed Ziggler over the announce table. Remember, this was a standard match, so if Drew got counted out, Dolph would become WWE champion. They were like, there was no reason for Dolph not to win this match, really, even though we knew he wasn't winning. Dolph hit like 3 or 4 finishers. He hit a finisher on the table. Then we see McIntyre pummel him around the ringside area. He sent Ziggler face first and set up for a Claymore kick, but then Dolph hit him with another chair to the knee. So basically, it would make it harder for Drew to do the Claymore kick. So then we see Ziggler climb the ropes, and he had a beautiful elbow drop. Like, the height that Dolph got on this elbow drop, beautiful, clean through the table. The table broke in half. I love the way the tables broke tonight, and hopefully that continues going forward. We see Ziggler drive McIntyre through a table with a big elbow drop. Ziggler screamed in disbelief. McIntyre rode back into the ring, avoiding another count-out loss. And then we see Ziggler hit another famouser. He hit the zigzag. McIntyre kicked out again. We also then saw The Rock. The Rock commented on this match on Instagram. The Rock said he would love to see Dolph become WWE champion. So I guess Dolph saw that and said, okay, Rock, I'm going to thank you for your support. And he actually did an amazing rock bottom. Drew sold it really well because Drew jumped out. Drew jumped super high in the air when Dolph went for the move. So it made the move look beautiful. So Dolph hit a beautiful rock bottom that The Rock would be proud of. And then McIntyre kicked out. So then Ziggler's like, what the hell do I got to do? Out of nowhere, McIntyre kicked up and hit a Claymore kick out of nowhere. Kind of like Randy Orton's RKO. It was one of the best. Ziggler showed the hell out of it. And Ziggler takes the pin. 1, 2, 3. McIntyre retains the WWE Championship. This was a great match. But man, does it make Ziggler look like a freaking retard. He had everything to win in this match. Even though we knew Ziggler was not going to win. The stipulation, there's no way you shouldn't win with a stipulation like that to your advantage. There's no excuse at the end of the day. I don't care who you are. You could be freaking Hornswoggle with that stipulation, and you should win the match. So I don't want to see Dolph Ziggler in another WWE Championship. No more of it shouldn't be me, give me what I deserve. No, Dolph should not be in another World Championship match for the rest of his career. When you lose a match like that, you lose all credibility. And this is the story of Dolph Ziggler's career. Always losing big-time matches. Dolph will go down as one of the greatest performers in WWE history, but to never amount to his full potential because WWE doesn't know how to book him. And for Drew McIntyre, we knew he was going to win this match. He's going to go on to a big match with Randy Orton for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam, which I am hyped for. So hopefully, they showed a SummerSlam commercial. Sasha Banks and Drew McIntyre were like the main faces of that commercial. So definitely, if we're getting Sasha Banks and Bayley, no matter if it's, winner take all, or if it's just for the SmackDown Women's title. If we're getting Sasha Banks and Bailey at SummerSlam, along with Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, those are going to be the two big matches for SummerSlam, and I am super pumped about that. So, moving on here. Moving on, we're going to move on into the last match, the Swamp Fight, the cinematic match. Braun Strowman versus Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. I will say this. WWE with these cinematic matches, the main ones, excuse me, I'm going to go back and watch this match again. Wyatt versus Strowman, Wyatt versus Cena in the Firefly Funhouse match at Mania, and Taker versus Styles from the Boneyard match, and the Money in the Bank match. These were all fantastic. I enjoyed the Swamp Fight. It was entertaining as hell. It didn't make sense. It was wacky. The only problem I have with the Swamp Fight is the ending. That's the only problem I had. The ending didn't make much sense to me. Because we're like, how do you win this match? It's like the Firefly Funhouse match. How do you win that match? The match was great because Bray Wyatt's creative genius is fucking incredible. The guy's creative mindset. When Bray Wyatt, retires, man, I hope he becomes like the head of creative for WWE. I would love that. Because Bray Wyatt's creative mindset is better than all of WWE's writing team combined. The guy has the mindset of a genius. I just hate the way WWE books him because they never book him correctly. I enjoyed this match. The ending is the only thing that didn't make sense. The title was not on the line here, but clearly, they're setting things up for The Fiend, because The Fiend did return tonight, finally. They're setting things up for The Fiend to finally take the Universal title off Strowman at SummerSlam. So basically, the match started off. It takes place at the swamp, right? The Wyatt compound, whatever you want to call it. So basically, the match starts off. We see Bray Wyatt sitting in his, OG rocking chair. So right now, if you guys look at the camera, I'm rocking like I'm Bray Wyatt. But the match starts off with Bray Wyatt. He's in the rocking chair, and we see a Strowman pull up in a beautiful, I don't know if it was a Ford F-150, but it was a beautiful pickup truck. Beautiful. So then things just get weird. So we see Strowman, he's wearing a tank top, it looks like sweatpants and a hat. And then things just get weird. So basically Strowman gets kidnapped, right? Wyatt hit Strowman with a shovel, and then Strowman looks up and we see Strowman wearing the mask. He's wearing his old Wyatt family mask, tank top and everything. And like I heard, it tells me that WWE spent like 8 hours filming this match, and you could tell the editing was great. They did a fantastic. Whoever edited that match should be editing my videos full time. Like, damn. So then Strowman gets kidnapped, and then basically he's sitting like in a shed, and he's surrounded by all these like wide Easter eggs. I kind of hope that they would bring back, Eric Rowan. I think that would have been a great Easter egg. We know Luke Harper's not going to show up. He's, in AEW doing his thing, being the leader of the Dark Order. But I felt like, kind of how they brought back Heath Slater a couple weeks ago. I would have brought Eric Rowan, paid him to make a special cameo appearance tonight. That would have been great. So Strowman gets kidnapped. We see Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt makes his full entrance. He made his full entrance. Dude comes in, making his full entrance. He has the lantern. His old music is playing in the background. He enters into the shed, and then he preaches for like 5 minutes. He preaches to Strowman about, how Strowman fell off the path, how he never became the monster he should have, and how if he realigns himself with Bray Wyatt, everything can be fixed. So I liked his sermon, but it went on for like a little bit too long. It was like almost like 5 minute sermon, like for real. Dad, and remember, Strowman was like freaking like chained to a rocking chair. He got bit by a snake All right, which was crazy. So basically, then we see Strowman start having basically having hallucinations. And you guys remember back when we had the mixed tag team challenge a couple years ago, when like they were teasing that whole Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman love storyline. I know Alexa and Braun are good friends in real life, so Alexa Bliss makes a cameo appearance here as Sister Abigail, which was kind of cool. If you guys saw my live reaction stream with my friends from Discord, it was pretty damn awesome. So basically, Alexa Bliss shows up as Sister Abigail and was tempting Strowman. Strowman's walking towards Sister Abigail, who is Alexa Bliss in this case, and then Alexa disappears. Because then we see Alexa disappear, and then we see Wyatt just run at Strowman, and they start brawling. So then Strowman eventually gets the advantage. Strowman choke slams Wyatt into a boat. And then basically, I don't know who the hell was freaking running the boat, but all of a sudden the boat drifts off into darkness, and then we see the boat come back, but nobody's in the boat. We all thought this was the Fiend, and the Fiend did show up a little bit later on. But then we see Bray Wyatt. He's still in the Eater of Worlds character. He's drowned. Wyatt and Strowman are fighting now in the lake. Absolutely disgusting, because if you looked at Strowman's back, you could see like the dirt, and that's all the disgustingness was all over him. Like, I hope he took like a 30-minute shower after that match, because that was disgusting. They had to smell like legit dog shit after that. So then Wyatt's drowning Strowman here. Then he hits him with an oar, and then he's unleashing his frustration and all that. And then Wyatt says, "Look what you made me do. I didn't want to do this." And then Strowman rises up and kicks Wyatt into the swamp. So now we're all like, what the hell? Where's Wyatt? Freaking Braun Strowman acting like he has a damn scouter from Dragon Ball Z, and he's like looking for freaking Bray Wyatt's energy signature, just looking around the swamp, all of a sudden. And then all of a sudden, we see Wyatt. He emerges out of nowhere from the swamp. He hits the mandible claw on Strowman, pulls him back into the swamp, and out of nowhere, the match ends with the Fiend. The Fiend comes out of nowhere, and we have this like whole red, layout, and then Wyatt is doing his normal ha 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 ha. The Fiend is doing his normal laugh, and that's how the show ends. So the show ends with the Fiend. We have no idea what happens to Strowman. So this is the only problem I have with this. The match was great, if you ask me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the match. But basically, the ending makes no sense. I understand the Fiend being there, but what the hell happened to Strowman? Like, does Braun Strowman come back as the old Braun Strowman? Like, is he back aligned with Bray Wyatt? Do we see SmackDown this week and Strowman is able to run away from Bray Wyatt? And that's how they set up the whole thing for SummerSlam? Because the way you had to do it is, you had to do it in a way that justifies Wyatt getting another title shot at SummerSlam. Because the title was not on the line tonight. If Strowman had won the match tonight, there is no justification for Wyatt getting a title match at SummerSlam. Now, with the way you ended the match, yes, you can, make it look all right. Once and for all, we end this at SummerSlam, The Fiend versus Braun Strowman. At Money in the Bank, it was Strowman versus Mr. Rogers, Bray Wyatt. Tonight, it was Strowman versus Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. And now, SummerSlam, The Fiend is going to come back to get the job done. And clearly, The Fiend's going to become Universal Champion, which he should have never lost. Should have never lost that title to Goldberg. I will always hate Goldberg for that. I will never cheer for Goldberg again. I never want to see Goldberg back in the WWE ring. The guy is terrible. But overall, the Saw fight was great. It's just the ending doesn't make sense. Like, we don't see what happens to Strowman. Like, did he drown? Did he die? Like, I would have much rather had the Fiend there. If you wanted to end the show with the Fiend, fine. But at least have Strowman like laying unconscious on the deck. Something like that. But the ending just doesn't make sense. Like, now we have to wait, like, what the hell happened to Strowman? And I think, now that I'm thinking about it, some of the endings to these matches, like Sasha versus Asuka, and, you know, the way the Swamp fight ended, I think WWE is trying to build intrigue and give you cliffhangers and give you reasons to watch Raw and SmackDown this week, hoping for an increase in viewers. And I would be very surprised if the ratings don't rise for those shows this week, especially now that we're on the road to SummerSlam. But the endings to these matches tonight is just what hurt this show. If you're looking from an in-ring perspective, this was arguably the best pay-per-view of the year. If we're talking about from an in-ring standpoint, the in-ring action was great. Owens versus Murphy on the pre-show, great. The tables match, great. Becky Cross, one of Bayley's best matches as SmackDown Women's Champion. Sasha versus Asuka was on the road to being a Match of the Year candidate until that ending. Seth Rollins versus Mysterio was great until the ending to that match as well. Mcintyre versus Dolph Ziggler was fantastic, even though we knew Dolph wasn't going to win. And I enjoyed the Swamp fight. So if we're talking from an in-ring perspective, this show gets a thumbs up. But because I have to put storyline into this, I have to consider all the other factors, I can't give the show a thumbs up. I can't. I got to give the show in the middle. If you just pick the endings, like if you bring out a second referee for Sasha Banks and Asuka, and that's how Sasha wins the title, thumbs up. If you didn't do that horrific ending with Ron's freaking vomiting, fake vomiting there, and that failure of a CGI with Mysterio getting his eye taken out, I would have gave that match a thumbs up. And I give the Swamp fight a thumbs up for the most part, but the ending there, like, what the hell happened to Strowman? Come on. So from an in-ring perspective, Extreme Rules was a good show, but the endings really hurt this. So I can only give this show a 4 out of 10. I'm sorry. The endings hurt this show so much. If you fix those endings, I'm probably giving this show maybe close to a 7 out of 10. This would have been a really good pay-per-view. But the endings of those shows, especially Sasha versus Asuka, I can't give this show a thumbs up. I would not be doing my job as a podcaster and as a true wrestling fan if I didn't be honest with you guys. And that's what I do here on this podcast. I am brutally honest about everything. You guys can disagree with me and we can discuss in the comments section, but that's just the way I see it. You fix the endings of those matches and this would have been a really good show. But the endings really hurt this show tonight. So, other than that, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. That is the end of the Legit Shoot podcast tonight. We went nearly an hour and a half. We had a lot of people in the stream tonight, so I really appreciate it. But before you guys leave, please do me two quick things. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Subscribe and enable notifications by clicking the bell next to my name, Fitz TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. I will be right back here tomorrow night for the Monday Night Raw review. And definitely we're going to have a lot to talk about. We have Randy Orton versus Big Show in the unsanctioned match. And I'm guessing, I don't know, I got to check, but I'm guessing we're going to get Sasha Banks and Asuka for a rematch in the Raw Women's title, and I'm going to be really pissed if Sasha gets a 24-hour championship reign. Like, please, WWE, don't do what I think you want to do. But we'll have to wait and see on that. Also, the other thing, leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed. If you guys enjoyed the podcast tonight, no matter if you guys watched on the stream or if you guys are watching this on demand, if you guys enjoyed the podcast tonight, if you guys enjoyed the review, if you guys agreed with some of my thoughts, even if you disagree with my thoughts, but you enjoyed the podcast in general, I try to give you guys that organic, unfiltered experience. That's just the way I feel. That's the way I want to be for you guys. I don't bullshit you guys. So if you enjoyed the show, if you enjoyed the podcast, leave a like on the video. It really helps me out. It gets the video pushed out to more in the community. Because like I said, people need to be educated in this community. But other than that, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. I will be right back here, like I said, for Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. So make sure you guys come back here for the Monday Night Raw review. Subscribe if you guys are new. Leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed. Follow me on social media. The links are in the description down below. Follow me on Twitter. I love live tweet with you guys. That is the quickest way to get in contact with me if you guys want to talk about wrestling, anime, anything like that. Thank you guys for all the love and support. The road to 6K subscribers is going strong, and I absolutely love it. Thank you guys so much for everything. Stay safe and healthy. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. And if I don't, just hopefully you guys stay well. God bless. Peace.